It's a scary. It must be that time of year again. What's that? Huh? Huh? It's a sugar booger right there in front of you. Okay.
So when I was at university in Leeds in the third year, we basically had a really good time there. We were in this old hotel which had been converted into student living, and it still had like the hotel sign. It was still called Maxstone Hotel when we were living there. One day we decided to look up Maxstone Hotel like on the internet, and we found like the TripAdvisor like reviews that had been left for Manxstone Hotel.
Here's a picture of what the website looked like.
They are like some of the worst reviews I've ever heard for a place ever. Like, I'll read some out to you. It's got 2-star rating on TripAdvisor out of 5 stars from 49 reviews. The pits. Well, on arrival, with no car parking, which unfortunately resulted in 2 parking tickets for my pal, we were greeted by a hen night leaving the accommodation with one lady scratching her groin, telling us don't stay in there, it's minging. In hindsight, I wish I'd listened to this. Obviously, promiscuous tyke. Once in the rundown cesspits, we were greeted by Cruelia DeVille slash Mortica Adams slash Crazy Cat Lady, who is probably soon to be sectioned. She basically mucked about trying to sort our keys and that showing us where we could leave our bags until the rooms were ready on site on this lockup, a spare room off the kitchen. I was glad I hadn't bothered in my bag again as it was the right state. The whole of downstairs was like a cat sanctuary, cat hair and urine everywhere, and I'm allergic to cats, which was just what I wanted to ruin my weekend. Anyway, we got the room, top floor, and it was like a minimum security prison cell. 3 of us stopped in one room with 2 single bags and a mattress on the floor. The mattress on the floor was under the sink. The waste pipe on the sink had actually been disconnected, so when you ran the tap, the water simply emptied onto the floor and on me and my mate's mattress. Fantastic. The room hadn't been cleaned for a while. There was what looked like the remnants of some kind of drug people had been snorting on top of the chest of drawers. Classy. The TV was hanging off the wall bracket and would have probably fell off if you pressed the on button too hard. One of the drawers had no bottom in it. The window opened out onto a lovely terrace, or window ledge, as some normal people may call it. Easy to step off the bed onto the window ledge and immediately face with a 40 to 50 foot drop. Not ideal for kids, although you would probably be taken to social services or have Childline called on your ass if you made your kids stop here. Breakfast simply vile. The young chap looking after the place while the crazy cat woman was asleep in her crypt was very helpful and knocked on the door for 15 minutes in the morning to ensure we got up for breakfast. I wouldn't have minded if it was a nice breakfast, but I would rather have ate the mattress my mate slept on than that greasy slop he had slapped on my plate. Soon as we were out the room, I slid mine into the bin. On the plus side, the TV in the dining area worked and Hare Hunters was on, probably the highlight of my stay. They don't make TVs like that anymore. I think it was the next model up from black and white. Finally, we checked out, and my mate went back to get his hairspray, and was taken back to the room by the young chap who can't cook, and was then promptly blamed for the state of the room. Disconnected waste pipe on the sink, wrecked drawers, smashed electrical socket. The, the cheeky little so-and-so. To summarize, vile hellhole. You'd better be off stopping in the cemetery with a holy tent. Oh, and don't believe the pics on the internet for the rooms. Ha 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 ha. Maybe 40 years ago they resembled them. Room tip: go elsewhere or sleep on the street.
That's legendary. I actually had to put my microphone on mute so I wouldn't laugh over you because that was
Yeah.
so awesome.
You know, that's only one of them. That's only one of the 49 reviews.
Oh
That they're
yeah.
they're all like people went out of their way to write full-length reviews on how bad it was. Okay, so this is the next one. The title is Castle Grayskull. This has to be without doubt the worst hotel in brackets I have ever stayed in. Right from pulling up at the entrance of the hotel, which quite frankly looked very scary and as if the property had been left to ruin. Things looked very bleak, and this also stretched to our rooms. My room was on the top floor, and in all honesty, I've never encountered anything as disgusting in my life. The floor was very uneven and did not feel stable. It felt like I was going to fall through at any moment. The carpets looked like they had seen better days, and the furniture was very sparse and damaged. Furthermore, there was no towels left in my room. I was staying at the hotel with friends who also had no towels left for them in their rooms either. And as we could not find a member of staff at that point, it was late at night, we had to go all the way down to the laundry room ourselves to find them. The misery continued the following morning, as when I turned on the shower there was no hot water whatsoever. When I complained to one of the staff members, she did not seem at all interested in helping, and in addition the breakfast was a very small greasy fry-up, which I mostly left and had to stop for a proper breakfast on the way home. In addition, there is hardly any car parking available at all. We had to leave our vehicles in a back street right behind the hotel, and in the morning we felt very relieved that they were still there. We were all very glad to leave this hotel. Yes, it was cheap. However, I would have been more than happy to pay twice the price for at least a little comfort.
I wanna I wanna point out something real quick. I love his state of priorities. The
Yeah.
carpets were messy. I could have
Yeah.
died going through the floors, and I
And there
had
was
no
no towels.
towel. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
This is one. It says, "Don't go to the Manx Den" in as the title. A few weeks ago, I booked the Manx Den to sleep at before the uni open day. We arrived and pulled up outside, and it looked vile, with the dirtiest sign and black window frames. On ringing the doorbell, a scary woman opened, saying she had been expecting us. You would have thought she had cleaned in preparation and was going to give us the best room, but the last occupants had run away with the key. We took the room anyway. I think it was number 8. And on opening the door to the room, we were shocked. Firstly, hair and dust in the sink. Secondly, the curtain was hanging off. Third, a stain on the sheets on the bed at the side. Fourth, a crack above my bed. Fifth, my light didn't work. Sixth, dust everywhere. Seventh, wardrobe handle was broken. Eighth, all furniture was really old. That could do definitely with updating. 9, dirtiest mug I'd ever seen that I wouldn't even trust to drink out of. 10th, coat hanger on the floor. 11th, metal bits on the floor, the bits from when you get pills out of their packets. And 12th, the door looked like it had been kicked in. The ridiculous thing was on the back of the door there was just a list of 12 things for the cleaner to do, all ticked off by Giovanni. The woman then asked us whether we would be watching TV and kind of huffed when we said yes. The TV in the room was so ancient that there wasn't a SCART lead whole thingy. So then she said she would go and get another TV. When she got back to the room with the new TV, she simply said sorry for it being so dusty. You'd think you could dust it before giving it to us. And then the best bit, handed us an Argos bag with the Freeview box she had just bought this morning for us to set up ourselves. After this, we walked into Leeds and then realized we just couldn't return to sleep there, especially after reading the other reviews. We ended up staying in the Novo Hotel. I only wish we had read the reviews before. This was the house that we stayed in when we were in Leeds. They sold it to this company called Student Cribs, and they they refurbished it and did it up, and it's now looking really nice. Listen to this one. This is really short.
Okay.
Crack house would have been nicer.
A
I
cr-
came for the night. I came for the night, and when I got outside, my jaw dropped at that was just the start. As I will tell you, the nightmare started with a front door with no window. Once in the hallway, I had to ring to say hi I had arrived, only to be greeted by Mortica from the Addams family. Once in the room, I thought this is a decent room, but after inspection, I was proved wrong as there was a damp patch above the bed. There wasn't any bulbs in the bedside lamps, and they had been used as they had been used a plaster to cover. The English is so bad on these people when they're typing. To cover up where the bulb should be. We had no hot water, so couldn't use the shower. Every time the toilet was flushed, it was like a foghorn, as stated in a previous review. And when it came to breakfast, the cups and cutlery were filthy. And she poured the coffee, and there was a hair spout of the coffee jug after she had poured it, which just made me sick to my stomach. So word to the wise, stay away from 154 Woodsley Road.
it's chilling thinking about
It does actually. This kind of scares me more than ghosts.
it.
Like staying in a place like that.
Okay, do you want to say an outro?
Don't go to the Manxton Hotel. Basically, don't stay there. Do not stay there.
Okay, thank you.